Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons' brand new adventure 2025 summer adventure book, Dragon Delves. And we're going to talk about the Will of Orcus. So, warning, spoilers for the Will of Orcus here. We're going to talk about what this adventure is and what my thoughts are on it. So first of all, I actually love this adventure. I don't want to bury the lead here. This thing is a banger. It's really fascinating. So let's dive into what it is. So first of all, it is set in essentially a bog standard fantasy setting, right? And more, all of these are set so that they can go across Dungeons and Dragons safety realms, right? Which are like Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, Mystara, the bog standard stuff that's just, Lord of the Rings that's a D&D fantasy realm now, like full 100% Dungeons and Dragons canon, like, isn't that a universe beyond? No, it's not. Like, I love that. That's cute. Nice. Like your ignorance is showing. Okay. So it's really, really fascinating. So the player characters come in and they are engaged by a group that is connected to Deathbane's Tavern to deal with a cult of Orcus, right? Now, this cult of Orcus is getting specific orders from an undamaged statue of Orcus, which was built centuries ago, and they found in this mountain area, right? So these cultists are going and they're worshiping this statue of Orcus. Well, why are they worshiping it? Because it is literally speaking to them, right? Now, how is a statue of Orcus speaking to them? Well, one way that it could be speaking to them is that Orcus was channeling his energy through and actually giving direction to his followers. That is not the case. This is a silver dragon wormling, okay? So all these early adventures in Dragon's Delve deals with these silver dragon wormlings. I'm still struggling with this. I think one of the best ways to deal with this is not to think about silver dragon wormlings as babies, but as teens, as like dragon teens, right? It's still problematic though, because I think Dungeons and Dragons designers are doing this because they need you to be able to deal with a dragon without getting murdered. And if you deal with an adult dragon, you are almost certainly going to get murdered because they're just so powerful. So they can get all the energy of an adult dragon with these wormlings. So it does have that issue in it, right? But this silver dragon wormling is posing as Orcus and then giving commands to these evil cultists. But then there's this huge question of, is it even evil what it's asking them to do? Does this silver dragon wormling even understand evil? Because in its blood, it is good, right? And, there's all this stuff about, bioessentialism, we can't do that. But D&D was like, nah. Chromatics are good, right? Like, chromatics are bad, metallics are good, right? So this is a good aligned dragon, right? And so it's just this scampish mischief that even points it toward anything evil, right? So, but then that also brings up this question of, why is anybody paying for this organization to be eradicated because they're, Orcus cultists? But then it brings up the question of, are these guys even evil? They're literally just doing the bidding of a good aligned dragon, right? And so it's really fascinating. So the adventure really is, it's almost like there's an old show where two guys live together, the Odd Couple, right? Like, it's a crazy, misunderstanding, and so this adventure is like, do we kill all these Orcus cultists? And you're like, do we need to understand that Orcus, like, because the player characters can get involved, never even understand that it's a good aligned dragon, and then kill a bunch of evil Orcus cultists, right? And then there's this amazing question of, was it okay to just kill evil cultists just because they're evil? Like, is it okay to just kill people because of who they align themselves with? That's a very interesting question. Like, no, we don't have to wait for you to do, like, oh, if you're aligned with a cartel, right? Do we need to wait for you to do a crime to kill you? Like it's really fascinating, especially when you're a free agent, when you're an adventurer and you're not aligned with some, holier than thou, like, oh, you got to wait for them to do a crime. That is an extremely interesting question, right? And this is what I come for the adventures, I stay for the philosophy. That is a hugely philosophical question. The other question is, like once the player characters get engaged, then they might have this conversation of, hey, we see that you're trying to rule this evil cult, and that you're able to rule them. Hey, why don't you just steer them toward good? But then that's going to get weird, because then they're like, well, we came to Orcus because Orcus is traditionally evil. The other thing is, do you have the right to subvert an evil organization to confuse people about what they're like? Doesn't Orcus own his identity and his alignment to evil? And so if you're not upholding his evil doings, then is that appropriate, right? Like, and it really, you get to this point where everything in here is upside down, and it's just a big pile of philosophy questions, which is my absolute jam in Dungeons and Dragons. I love this adventure. I highly recommend Dragon Delves. I think Dragon Delves is worth the price of admission for this alone. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.